And beside me, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, Killer Kyle. And of course, it is Night of Champions.
Exactly.
And of course, I got the WWF Old School Ring title. Check it. And we got,
Of course, the old school pre-2006 replica version of the ECW Championship.
awesome. Before we begin, let's talk about, well, I made a slide of our adventure last week to Smash Wrestling live at the venue in Peterborough, Ontario. And holy shit, one of the best matches I've ever seen. Tarek. Fucking...
Tarek, Sebastian Suave,
yes.
P.D. Williams, Mike Rollins, Muscle, Tank, Mike Banks.
Yeah, man. That was pretty, you know, and obviously, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. The shows are just too fast. It's like you're there, and then you're gone.
Oh yeah. And I got there a little bit before I did, but I was able to get there with a little bit of time to spare before the show started, so we're kind of just sitting there hanging out talking. Show starts to have 3 matches at the start, which were all really good. Then they had intermission, and then intermission I'd say was probably 5 minutes or so, and then
Yeah, I guess. Say 5 to 20. I thought it was 20, but it could have been 5. I honestly don't really remember.
because it happened so quickly.
It did, and you know, it's just, I said this to Kyle, it's like, yeah,
Oh, we
I
also
just,
had Kevin Blackwood.
and Kevin Blackwood was there, and he started the show. My older brother was there, actually started the show,
Yeah.
which I'm very proud, yeah, very, very proud. We shared a moment, kind of. Anyways, it's in a video, and
Yeah.
you'll watch it, I hope.
Yeah.
But anyways, so fun night, and this shirt is fucking sick. And I don't usually say that word a lot to describe things. Anyway, no, but it is, honestly.
Yeah, that's a nice shirt. I mean, the outline of it is very, like, 80s, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, the writing, the smash, and then the pink, kind of triangle-ish, and then at the bottom, you can't really see it, but it says it has 2 X's, which is, like, number 10 and 20. It's Canadians, and then on the other side, it has, I think, 7 or something like that, and it says wrestling, I think. And, you know, it's very, the design overall is very, like, 80s t-shirt, but then, of course, in the middle, you got that kick-ass wolf, so I mean...
Oh, yeah. So you obviously know why I bought this shirt, as well.
Not only does he like wrestling and like Smash Wrestling, he's a big fan of wolves.
Wolves, dogs, and 3 of my favorite colors.
Blue,
So-
pink, and black.
Yep. So, yeah, it was a fun night, and I know they'll come back.
Oh, I'm sure they more than likely will at some point.
It was a pretty good reception,
Yeah.
and so... And also, Von Vertigo was there.
Yes.
Shout out to Port Hope. Anyways, so let's get down to Clash of Champions. I honestly forgot that this was a WCW show, I think.
Yes, it was from about 89, I believe, till about 97, roughly, was the WCW Clash of Champions. And then, for the last, like, 3-4 years, I don't think they had a Clash of Champions.
Well, they called it Night of Champions, but
Well, WWE, yes,
yeah.
called it
Oh,
Night
I
of
see.
Champions. But WWE basically decided to go with Clash of Champions to kind of rehash old school style of wrestling. You could say, because I mean, like, you think about it. Okay, Clash of Champions was NWA and WCW, but you know, 2 months ago there was War Games, which again was NWA WCW product. Now, of course, towards the latter years, War Games wasn't what it used to be, but I mean, you know, to have WWE bring those back and try and see if they can carry on the legacy, I guess, if you will, of, well, kind of bring back both matches and kind of see if they can contribute to the continuation of the legacy of both the War Games and Clash of Champions. I think I know when I first initially heard that they were doing War Games, I was like, oh, that's so cool. And now have Clash of Champions, okay, it's still the same idea. I was like, okay, you got all your championships defended in a single night, but, you know, it is truly a Clash of Champions.
exactly. So let's get to it. I'm gonna go.
Ryder and Mojo Rawley against each other.
Now, did you not think that, you know, it's one thing to have Cass and Gonzo break up?
Yeah.
Did you imagine for a second that Mojo and Zack Ryder would break up?
You know, when Zack was out with that knee injury and they kept Mojo, or they put Mojo in a singles role, it was kind of like, okay, they want to have Mojo continue to wrestle, which is fine. You know, put him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania this year, and have him have singles matches. You weren't really too sure if Zack had finished recovering from his knee injury and rehabilitating his knee. Would they put the two of them back together, or would they say, hey, look, we've got Mojo on a singles run, we want to do something with you, but we don't really want to do the hype bros again, so we're going to put you in a singles capacity and see what happens. But initially, when Zack came back with Mojo, you know, they partnered back up, they started tag teaming again, and things between them were, like, they didn't really lose a step, so to speak, as far as, you know, chemistry and the wrestling in that. It was just basically who they were opposed to just seemed to be able to.
Sorry.
Seemed to be able to get the upper hand on them. It seemed like Mojo, when Zack was out with his injury, they continued Mojo wrestling in a singles capacity, and you weren't exactly sure whether they were going to be teaming again, or whether it be when Zack came back, that rhymes, and they'd team them back together, or would they have Mojo carry on being a singles competitor, and would they put Zack in a singles role as well? But initially, when he came back, partnered the two back together, which is good. It just seemed to be that who they were in the ring against in tag team matches just seemed to be, I don't know, further ahead, I guess.
Well, I just saw a shoot on Twitter with Mojo Rawley.
Yeah.
And holy shit, did he speak the truth. You know, you are gonna get it. You wrestled at WrestleMania. You got the Intercontinental title. You lost it the next day. That was an embarrassment.
That was stupid.
If it was my dad, I'd be kicking the Mrs. ass.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. And that's just how I felt, basically. And it's true. I mean, last year Mojo won Andre the Giant Award. I'm not going to get into it again, but
Yeah.
basically, yeah, he didn't get where he needed to go. So, it's interesting to see Mojo as a heel. I hope he is a good heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. This match is going to be interesting, you know, just to see these two work together.
Yeah.
And I really don't know who would win this match.
You know, it was on SmackDown where I saw that interview where Mojo was talking about, you know, being in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, being the Intercontinental Champion. And it's like, okay, yeah, you did do that, but to put the blame on Zack Ryder for, you know, saying he tried to hold you down and, you know, you're better than that and, you know, all this other stuff. If you really wanted to be a singles wrestler, you could have just said, hey man, we got back together as a tag team and we haven't won a match, it doesn't seem to be working for us. Why don't we just go separate ways? I can be a singles competitor, you can be a singles competitor or whatever, and have that be that. But no, they gotta go the route of turning Mojo heel, having Mojo attack Zack, and then say all this stuff about Zack, which is making Zack look like the bad guy.
Which makes me ask the question, why did they go back together when Zack came back? I don't get it. Because Mojo had the momentum. And you know what?
Well, it's true, he did have the momentum. But before Zack was injured, Zack Ryder and Mojo had, you know, really good momentum as a tag team. So, I mean, I think when they initially put Mojo and Zack back together, it was just, okay, let's see if we can put these two back together and see if they can pick up where they left off and excel as a tag team again and maybe, you know, be tag team champions. But it didn't work out that way, and well, we're at where we're at right now.
So,
But yeah, like you said, the color winner of this match, man, I don't know.
I can't decide, to be honest with you. It is true, Zack Ryder always had... He should have had more opportunity, but when he did have an opportunity, it kind of fucking fell.
Oh yeah.
With Mojo, it was sort of the same thing. So
Yeah.
I honestly can't tell you who should win.
Yeah.
I would like to say Mojo. Because if anybody needs a push, you know what? Let's see if Mojo can win. So I will say Mojo. I mean, Zack's been in the business for a long time. And he's had an opportunity. You know, and they're not going to do anything else with him. Which I'm pretty sure that's true, and that's a fucking shame, Vince. So let's see what Mojo can do.
I think if anything, they gotta either put Ryder in a position where he can become Intercontinental Champion, or, you know, put him with another partner and see if they can push him and the other guy, whoever they put him with, to a tag team championship. Or get Zack the fuck out of there. Not that he's a bad wrestler, not that he's a bad guy. You're not going to do anything with him as a singles competitor, or even with a tag team as a tag team wrestler. Hit the road, Jack, and don't come back.
No more.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Zach Reese, well, I've found her a number of times on, I think it's WWE's YouTube channel, opening up friggin' action figures. And it's like wrestling action figures, fucking Star Wars action figures. So, I think if they don't do anything fully with Zach on TV, well, okay, it's maybe not the most ideal thing, but he's got a fallback in this, YouTube show thing he has.
Yeah, I mean, I saw both Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley. Well, Zack in Kingston, Mojo in Peterborough. And I saw Zack face, I think it was Santino, and he did pretty good.
Yeah.
And Mojo took on Luke Harper. And it was an okay match, too. I think that they're really good competitors, and we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, I will say, if out of those two, that they both need a push. It's not one over the other. They both need
Yes.
a push. Breezango against the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan. When these two got on television, I thought maybe they just left, essentially.
yeah.
And, they have been gone for, I'll say, 5-6 months roughly. And then all of a sudden, here's these vignettes for the Bludgeon Brothers. And it's those two.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
they got the big kind of battle hammers, Viking hammers, I guess you want to call it, or whatever. And the hooded vest type things. But they're still talking like how they were when they were members of the Wyatt family, kind of dark and mysterious.
And Owen still has the sheep mask.
Yes.
So, like, what are you doing? Are you doing the Wyatts? Are you gonna be the Bludgeon Brothers? Make up your fucking mind. I still like them as a tag team.
Yes.
I also think that Fandango and Tyler Breeze are an interesting tag team as well.
Yes.
It's just, I think that they're gonna, pardon the pun, be bludgeoned to death. Because if they can pull off a win, that's fine. But Breezango is mostly like they're a comic tag team.
They've just become a comedy act. There's no way you can take them seriously in the ring.
Yeah, they're gonna get crushed.
Yeah.
So anyways, we move on to it now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you think it's gonna be a one-way ass kicking, or?
Like, Breezango is a good tag team. We got two really good guys that did fairly well as singles competitors. Not really ever went too far in the way of championships, but, it is what it is. And then when they partnered them together, they're great chemistry, they work well off each other. It's just, when you're up against guys like those two, this whole fashion police thing,
Yeah.
is not gonna get you anywhere.
And when you have Ascension, who was another real badass tag team, be a funny tag team that's out of character, and, I just don't see Breezango win tomorrow. So,
Tomorrow.
or Sunday.
Yeah. Getting a little hazy over there.
I know. Yeah, but yeah, so I'm gonna say the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah.
And so
I really don't see Breezango standing too much of a chance here. Especially with this finish that the Bludgeon Brothers have. It's like a double crucifix bomb, so
Oh,
to
yeah.
speak.
that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So then we go to Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura versus the New Quebecers,
Yeah.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Interesting. And what makes it stupid. So, I mean, apparently this has happened before. So, Shane McMahon dubs himself special guest referee Tuesday, whatever.
Tuesday.
You had Daniel Bryan go, hey, I'm going to be a
Referee as
second
well.
guest referee. So, it's like, how's that possible?
Yeah.
Uh,
How the hell is it even gonna make sense?
I can totally see a feud happening. I could see Brian turn either heel, I guess, and join forces with Owens and Zayn. And I mean, they were both in Ring of Honor, so they have that. Well, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, on one hand, it is stupid, but on the other hand, to have two special guest referees, it could potentially get a WrestleMania match. So, who knows?
You know, the thing that really makes this match interesting is on Tuesday, there was a match between Nakamura and Owens, and Daniel Bryan was on commentary.
Yeah.
And he said he's got history with all four of these guys. Yes, he worked with Owens and Sami Zayn in Ring of Honor. He roomed with Nakamura for a little bit, I believe, in Japan. And you know, there is Daniel and Randy Orton feuding with each other. And, you know, throw Batista in there. Their match at WrestleMania for
2014.
for their world title and all this other stuff. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see which way Daniel swings, but I think it's Daniel's best interest is to keep the match as fair as possible.
Yeah.
Don't let Shane, you know, get too out of hand, get too far out of control, put too much thought and emotion into it, and just be, you know, a direct right down the middle referee.
I like to say that there'll be no contest because it's going to be one-sided. Shane's going to want to destroy Owens and Zayn, and Bryan's not going to let that happen.
Yeah,
So who knows what's going to happen there.
yeah,
And obviously I'm not a fan of Randy Orton at all, but I think that he's really trying to work with Nakamura. And it's going to be a good match. I really do like Nakamura.
yeah.
And I just saw a match, actually, from New Japan with him and Hiroshi Tanahashi. It was very good, obviously. And to see those two work off for each other will be interesting. And then, of course, the best friends, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. So, and those two have a big history with each other.
Oh yeah.
You know, we talked about it in the last month. Kevin Steen versus El Generico.
Yep.
Ladder match, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So-
Ladder Wars.
Those two are great together. I can't wait to see what they pull off on Sunday. And you know, Sami Zayn makes a very good heel.
Yeah. The entrance they have is very dorky.
Pretty much, yeah.
You got, you know, Kevin Owens coming out and being himself, just being serious and walking into the ring.
Yeah, Sami Zayn coming out, skanking. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Anyway, so
The only thing I'm really on the fence about is the whole stipulation about if Sammy and Kevin lose,
Nah,
they're fired.
I can't see that happening.
I can't see
No.
it either.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
So, on that note, I think maybe they're gonna somehow win. I'm not sure how, but I could see that happen. Like, Randy's a hothead, so if there's any way that something happens where Nakamura does something stupid, I guess, and gets an RKO, I don't know. I don't know if that's where Randy's mind is anymore, but the Randy that I hate is certainly like that. But anyways,
Yeah.
I'm just rambling, so I'm gonna say Owens and Zayn.
You know, it could be one of those scenarios where it's a clean match, no mischief happens, no sneaky underhanded tactics happen, and potentially Randy and Nakamura win, and maybe Daniel Bryan somehow tries to convince Shane to keep them around. Why? I don't know, but
Yeah, we'll see.
it's a hypotenuse. I mean, hypothesis.
Exactly. Nah, Rumbles coming up, so
Yeah.
there could be a stipulation match down the road. Who knows? So I'm gonna say, just because I'm biased, it'll be Sammy and Kevin. And no, I'm not from Quebec, but still.
You probably don't know much French anyways.
I know enough to get by. Anyways,
Yeah. I'll go Randy and Nakamura, just off the top of my head, really.
yeah, I mean, I do like Nakamura as well. So, it'll be a good match.
It's almost one of those matches where you just kind of, like, you're kind of both ways on who will win, so you just kind of watch it and find out really what happens.
Well, it's the two referees that really threw me off, but
Yeah. So we got a four-way match for the tag titles. It's the Usos defending their tag titles against the New Day, Benjamin and Gable, Rusev, and Aiden English.
yes. It's Rusev Day. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, no. Yeah, no, you said that. Okay.
Yes.
So, it should be cool. I mean, it's gonna be the second time I've seen Benjamins go at it.
Pendulums.
Uh,
Nice.
I think that the Usos are a good tag team, but
Yes.
with these ones coming up, I find that Rusev and Aiden are very entertaining as well.
Yeah.
You know, Rusev has become, he's letting loose and not being so fucking serious, but still being serious at the same time,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
He's serious, but he's not overly serious.
Yeah. So, that's cool.
I mean, even when you watch that episode of Ride Along with him and Lana riding together, and they got Breezango as well.
Yeah. He's naked.
Rusev's not wearing a shirt, and Lana goes,
Right.
"Why are you not wearing a shirt?" Rusev goes, "Because I like not wearing a shirt." And then, of course, you got friggin' Fandango not wearing a shirt either, and he tries to, I don't know, ticket Rusev, I guess, or whatever, or talk to him about not wearing a shirt, and Rusev goes, you're not wearing a shirt either. And it's like, okay, well, we'll let you go. Off you go. Bye-bye.
Yeah. So, and then again, Shelton Benjamin, who's a veteran, who's already been a tag team champion
Yes.
multiple times. So it'll be interesting to see these guys be tag team champions once, you know. And then they chorus together Usos, and you get New Day. And I think New Day, it would have been nice if they kept their belts at Hell in a Cell, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I can't choose because it could go either way, you know. You got these guys, Aiden and Rusev are not, haven't been tag team champions yet. They're just starting out as a tag team. You've got Shawn Benjamin and Chad Gable, who should be the tag team champions at some point.
Yeah.
But then you get Usos, New Day. And so I think, I honestly don't know who I want to win at this point, at this match. It's gonna be an interesting match.
Yeah. Could you put the tag titles back on the New Day? Absolutely. Could you put the tag titles on Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable? Potentially, yes. Should you put the tag titles on Rusev and Aiden English? Not yet. Too soon. You
Yeah.
could say it's too soon for Benjamin and Gable as well, but Benjamin having the experience that he has, and Gable being where he's been, SmackDown Tag Team Champion already, NXT Tag Team Champion. I think it could work, but for a definitive winner, I might just go New Day, just for the hell of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Same here. I do like the New Day. I think they are entertaining. Yeah, they can be annoying, but so can the Usos.
Yeah.
So
What do you think of the whole pancake thing?
I was confused,
Yeah, really.
but I don't know if that meant that it was a lumberjack match, and lumberjacks eat pancakes. I don't know.
Probably.
Uh,
Although, when you look at this week, you had the Usos against Aiden English and Rusev. There's the New Day on commentary. They're still doing the whole pancake thing.
yeah,
So, I mean,
maybe they just really like pancakes.
Charlotte and Natalia for the SmackDown Women's Championship when you've got the Riot Squad
Oh yeah.
and Lana, Tamina, and I guess Naomi, probably Becky maybe, as lumber people
Lumberjills.
on the outside.
Yeah, you know, I'm not a fan of Natalia. I'll just get that out of the way. I probably mentioned that before. Charlotte, yeah, I like her, but you know, she's the champion. I think she should keep it.
Yeah.
You know? There's got to be a better opponent out there. I really like Ruby Riott, but at the same time, she doesn't need to have a push right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I honestly don't know. You're not going to give Tamina a push. That's
Yeah.
obvious. So who else can you go with? Like, I have no clue.
Right, yeah, for sure. I honestly would like to see Charlotte win this match and then have her move on to something else.
Yeah, I think that's...
Because as good as this rivalry's been, it's starting to get a little stale.
Yeah.
I think they only put the Lumberjills in this match to have the Riot Squad and the other members of the SmackDown roster working together, but to have Charlotte and Natalia keep going, it's like, okay, how much longer are you gonna keep this rivalry going, and what else are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I like it. I want it to end. And I want to see Charlotte go on to wrestle anybody. It doesn't matter. You know, I mean, a bunch of them had their chance. Like, I mean, had their shot. Becky Lynch was a champion. Naomi was a champion. Carmella hasn't been a champion. She still has the Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So,
there as well.
And then, of course, Mickey James.
No, Mickey James is on Raw.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay, so then you got those guys. Not to mention, you've got the Riot Squad. You know, but we haven't really seen them do too much, although they did have, I think they had one hell of a match. Second time on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And, yeah, only time will tell for them. So, I will say, I'm going to hands down Charlotte. And so, you say Charlotte?
Yeah.
Alright. So then we go to
a three-way for the U.S. title. The current champion, Baron Corbin, defending against the glorious one, Bobby Roode, and, Mr. Stuck-up attitude, Dolph Ziggler.
when the fuck did Dolph Ziggler have any right to be in this match? Oh, wait a sec. It was supposed to be Bobby Roode versus Baron Corbin, wasn't it?
I think so, probably, yeah.
So, when the fuck did Dolph Ziggler put himself in the match? I don't understand. That man's a fucking idiot. He's been whining and complaining because, oh, you gotta have a gimmick. And I don't like gimmicks. I hate it. I'm a wrestler, goddammit. And then, last week, we see him coming down, and we have Show the World music there, and whatever. Why the fuck are you even complaining? You stupid asshole. You've been multiple time champion. United States, Intercontinental, World, maybe tag team.
Yes.
So, fuck off and go somewhere else. You're a piece of shit, and you don't deserve to be in the WWE anymore. You have no fucking right to complain. You have no fucking right to be in this match. Yes, I know Bobby Roode is Canadian, but you fucking put yourself in this match, and you deserve to fucking leave. Get the fuck off WWE. You're a fucking moron. You don't know what you're doing anymore. You complain, you whine, you bitch, you piss and you moan, and what does it get you? It gets you this fucking match. Well, you know what? I hope that Baron Corbin demolishes you, because you deserve nothing. So, honestly, I'm gonna say Baron Corbin for this one, because I really don't want to see Bobby Roode win either. Let's put the United States Championship on another Canadian. You know, Edge, Taz, Chris Benoit. Who else? Well, Bret Hart. It's a fucking joke. And if he does win the match, you know, do what I've already suggested. Make it the Canadian Championship. Just like Lance Storm did with, whatever it was he was in. Enough of this United States Championship bullshit. It's, you know, whatever. I'm gonna say Baron Corbin.
And on that note,
wait, what do you say? Did you pick one already?
Holy shit, take it easy.
It's alright.
You know, they've put this match together quite well. Yeah, it's weird having Dolph in there, but should Baron keep the title for a little bit longer? I say yes. Could Bobby Roode be a good champion? Absolutely. Would it be a good idea to put the title on Dolph? Yes, as long as they do something more with him in a heel capacity. Other than that, go Corbin or Rude. More than likely Corbin, but, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to see Bobby be champion, and
Well, that is true.
having Dolph as champion could work, but like I said, as long as they continue with what they've got him doing now in a heel capacity, or like keep the idea going, or freshen it up, or but do something in a heel capacity. Don't be just like, okay, this wasn't working, we'll scrap it, and just have Dolph be himself, essentially.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it'll be a good match. I will say that. I mean, yeah, I hope it'll be a good match, anyways. I mean, you got at least two really good competitors.
Yeah.
But, anyways. So, we go to the main event. We got AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship.
Yep.
And it's a rematch, obviously, from
2 weeks ago?
yeah. So that's a question I was gonna ask you: is what do you think of AJ Styles as the WWE Champion?
AJ Styles as WWE Champion right now is much to AJ when he held the WWE title the first go around.
Sure.
I mean, it doesn't. It puts it on a guy that has great in-ring skills, good on the mic, can put lots of guys over, is loved by fans, and if you're gonna have a title defended by a guy that has athletic skills, has technical skills, has submission skills, you'd want that guy to be AJ Styles.
Exactly.
Now, with Jinder, okay, he's fair in the ring. He's got some really good skills. He's not really one of those wrestlers that is efficient in everything. He just kind of has that straightforward, aggressive, hard-hitting style, so to speak. So, in that aspect, with those taken into consideration, it may make for a good match. However, I don't see them taking the title off of AJ just yet.
No.
Not yet.
No, and I think everybody is creaming their pants over wanting to see AJ versus Nakamura,
Yeah.
which I think would be cool. I mean, he wrestled in Japan, why not? But I think AJ as champion right now seems like a good idea, and it's just, I think the possibilities for AJ are endless. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
They can put him in whatever they want, and I want to know what's next. Like, I want to know what else they can do with him.
Yeah.
As the champion, and I think there's many more opponents that can
Work
go
with
up,
AJ.
work with AJ, go up against him, see who they can. I mean, fuck, Mojo Rawley is a heel now. I don't know if he's the same caliber,
Right.
but look at the possibility of Mojo Rawley versus AJ Styles
Yeah.
for the WWF title. You have and not that it'll ever happen, Big E versus AJ Styles.
Potentially.
You could have Bobby Roode even.
Yeah.
You know, and the possibilities are endless. With Jinder Mahal, it's, you know, he's a great champion, you know, a great heel. He's had an awesome reign. I just think AJ Styles, you know, the more opportunity for him,
Yeah.
you know. And I know he's gonna lose that someday, but to have Jinder Mahal win it back, okay, who do you think can go up against Jinder Mahal?
Baron Corbin, maybe?
Well, if they turn him face, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say, I can shit on what I said before, because you could easily have Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal for the WWE title.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, so there's that. And then, but I like AJ Styles. I hope that they could do more with him and keep him the champion a lot longer than they did when he was the first time WWE champion. You know, so let's see what else they could do with him. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of good matches left as the champion for AJ Styles. With Jinder Mahal, right now, I don't see him having it for very long.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
I think if you have AJ lose the title to Jinder, or have AJ lose the title to have it be 2, 3, 4 months down the road or so.
Yeah.
No, not quite yet.
Yeah, you know, I think I like AJ Styles as the champion. I think, you know, anything can happen. And hell,
Yes.
I don't know. I'd say have him go against Dolph Ziggler, but I heard a rumor that Dolph Ziggler was leaving the WWE. I don't know if you heard that.
I think you and I were talking about that.
Yeah. It'd be a real shame if that ever happened. So if it is happening, a moment of silence for Dolph Ziggler. So I think we have a great match, a great show.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. I honestly can't.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
And I think I jumped the gun with the whole double referee match.
Yeah.
I thought it was a stupid idea at first. I heard it did happen with Shawn Michaels and Shane McMahon, but I can't remember what match it was. So, it should be interesting. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So this has been a great review for Clash of Champions, and I can't wait to see it. And before we go, I'd just like to say that we're gonna do our Wheels of Fury for the first time ever Christmas special.
Yep.
We will talk about WWE, TNA, Christmas stuff. I don't know too many other promotions that have celebrated Christmas, whether it be tribute to the troops or anything like that, you know. I know we'll talk about that.
Yeah. I think before we sign off, it would be an appropriate thing to do a special shout out to, I believe it's Boy Behind the Camera?
Kid Behind the Camera.
Kid Behind the Camera.
I know last week we had well wishes for Charlie Green, aka Angry Grandpa, for him to get better. On Sunday, he had passed away from his illness, and I did a video that night. But while we're here, let's just, we did say a few well wishes. So we do send our condolences out to the Green family of South Carolina. And, we know that you're going to continue doing your videos. And, yeah, we just You know, we were actually watching his funeral that they had for him.
Yeah.
And,
Well, when I came in, it was around the end of it, but
and the amount of people, the amount of fans, or he called us fans, the youngins, the amount of people that came from around the world, or well, around the United States, anyways, and it was fascinating. You know,
yeah, the people would go out of their way to come from Wisconsin, Florida, North Carolina, wherever, just to go to a man's funeral that they didn't know personally, but
they loved his videos.
they
you know.
watched his videos, they loved his videos, and would take the time out of their lives to, be with the Green family, send their condolences personally to them, and talk about Angry Grandpa, videos they might have liked of his, their favorite video of his, memories of him, so on and so forth. So yes, our condolences go out to the Green family, Angry Grandpa, may you rest in peace, crazy
Grandpa.
old man,
Yeah.
and
Michael and Bridget and Jen and Kim, all those people, the family.
Michael in the video for the funeral was talking with a couple,
Yeah,
grandma and her grandson from Wisconsin, I think maybe, or whatever it was. And Mike had said he had thought about just, that's it, I'm done, I'm giving up YouTube, I'm quitting, all because his dad had passed away. But in his head, he can hear his dad going, "Are you crazy? What the hell are you doing?"
yeah.
And I think it just makes sense to, keep doing what you're doing on YouTube. Keep your thoughts with him. He's always with you no matter what. In
Yeah,
your
of
thoughts,
course.
in your heart. The love you have for him will be nothing compared to anything else in the world.
Yeah.
And, even to have that mental thought of Grandpa in his head, being upset about him not wanting to do YouTube anymore, goes to show you, what kind of overwhelming personality this guy had. I haven't seen Angry Grandpa videos. Maybe I'll watch a few just for the hell
Oh,
of it.
I've been watching. I watched him off and on for at least 3 years, and I know that even the videos back then. It's a slice. I hate to use that, but it is a slice of life.
Yeah.
Peeking in and how cool it is just to see people be going to somebody they've never met, his funeral, and just how supportive they are, and that's awesome. And
Yeah.
I don't know how many people around the world came, but I know 2 Canadians that want to send a shout out to the Green family. So, rest in peace, Angry Grandpa, once again. And, I don't really know much more to say.
So I think on that note, we'll go.
Yeah,
He's me, Matt. I'm
Killer Kyle. And before we go, in honor of Christmas, I would like to sing a Christmas song, so if you'd indulge me. So